I mean, if you look at boxing, these guys that used to come out of the Olympics were the most sought-after guys.
It was the proving ground, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Can we go back to that?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting it.
No.
Caught me off guard. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Cormier so heated?
So calm the whole time.
Yeah. Honestly, and honestly, I think he's really upset that he said the things that he said. Yeah. He said he made him cry, and you know what I mean? I don't care who you are. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that.
But aren't they just selling the fight? I mean, you know, trying to make it.
He didn't. Cormier didn't ask for this fight. Cormier wanted a fight. He didn't ask for this fight. And when I told him, I said, I called Cormier and I told him I got some good news and some bad news for you. Good news is I got you a fight. You know this kid Cummins? And he goes, yeah. He said he's going to take the fight. And I said, yeah. He said, the bad news is he said he made you cry in training. He said that? And I said, yeah. And he went off about that. I think he's embarrassed and I think he's upset. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. I mean, is it contrived? I don't know. Only he knows that.
Did he step over the line with some of the stuff that he said? I mean, obviously DC feels like it.
Apparently in the wrestling world, what he did, he broke like the man code. He broke the law of wrestling. And all the guys who are wrestlers have said that to me. Like, you don't do it.
I mean, there's obviously that issue that Daniel spoke about, that, you know, his daughter had passed away the year before. And
that he what?
That Daniel's daughter had passed away the year before, and that was a lot of the emotion behind him crying and things like that as well.
Right.
I mean,
well, I think, and that's what I think it is. I think he's embarrassed by what he said, and I think he's upset that he did that. And like I said, nobody wants somebody walking around saying they made him cry.
Like
so,
no tell. You don't tell what's going on.
Yeah, plus, you know, he had guys rotating in on him. His daughter had passed away. You know, he was going through a lot of stuff mentally and emotionally. But yeah, I think he's pissed. You know, I didn't see that coming, or I would never let them get that close to each other.
It looked like you saw it coming here. Look at your reaction.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
A little late to it. Is there anything you can do if two guys want to shove each other out of way?
No, well, no. Yeah, if I see it coming, I can. A lot of times, like when there's something heated, it usually starts in the back before they come out for the weigh. Yeah, before they come out for the weigh-ins. That won't happen tomorrow, I can promise you that. But normally it starts in the back and we hear about it, and they warn me before they come out to square off for the weigh-ins. Or if even one thing has been said back and forth between them in interviews or on Twitter or things like that, I'm usually ready. I wasn't ready for that one.
Does that one bother you, or you think it was just
I don't like it. I don't like when they touch each other before the fight. Anything could happen. That kid could have fucking... Look at the stage. That kid could have fucking fell right there and...
Have you ever lost a fight because somebody got hurt in an incident like that?
No. The closest, the one that scared me the most was Diego Sanchez and Josh Koscheck. I don't know if you remember that, but he hit him so hard that he almost fell off the scale, over the scale, and you know, I do the best I can to make sure that doesn't happen. Sneakiest one ever was Anderson Silva. I didn't even know that was possible to hit somebody like that. Remember when he hit Chael Sonnen? Yeah, it freaks me out. I don't like it, and I try to stop it.
Regardless of what happens on Saturday, has Cummins put himself in a position to stick around with you guys?
Cummins put himself in, you know, he took an opportunity. An opportunity was created. However, this whole thing organically happened. I'd never heard of Patrick Cummins until the morning I was driving to work, you know, when I made that fight. I'd never even heard of the guy. I read up on him. I had some people pull some stuff. I talked to our guys. And I said, this kid wants this fight, and he's got a story, and we'll give him an opportunity. And Daniel wanted the fight. He wanted to fight. So
I mean, from a promotion standpoint, he seems like you really took to it very quickly and very naturally.
Listen, you guys know, it's like when Kev just said to me, Kev said, well, that was contrived. Did he do this? Did he do that? I don't tell anybody to do anything. I didn't tell. We told Cummins' story. Mm-hmm. These two have their thing. They're going to show up. They're going to fight. We don't tell anybody to do this, to do that. You kidding me? With the stuff we got going on, you don't think a fighter will come out and say, Dana used to tell us to say this, and Dana used to tell us to say that, and I don't tell anybody to do anything. A fight is what it is. It plays out however it plays out. Look at the Rousey tape. leading up to Rousey Tate. I mean, they hated each other. You know what I mean? These two completely respect each other, and you know, it is what it is. No two fight is the
But
same.
isn't Ronda playing it smart with Sarah McMann and kind of not giving her anything to hang on to in terms of venom? Or don't you think she's playing it smart?
Don't you remember her and Liz Carmouche?
Yeah, she's pretty smart with her.
She loved Liz Carmouche,
Yeah, yeah,
and she spoke very highly of her and was honored to fight her. And you know,
So there's no beef.
Ronda's, you know, she's not some lunatic. She didn't like and doesn't like Miesha Tate. They're never going to like each other, and that's the way they're always going to be toward each other.
Does she never cease to amaze you, Ronda?
No, she doesn't. She's you know. I was reading this thing today where she was saying she's nervous about pay-per-view buys. You know, fucking kidding me? It's unbelievable.
Competitive about the number of pay-per-views.
Yeah. What other fighter gives a shit how many pay-per-view buys we do on Saturday? I give a shit what we do. I know what I'm getting paid, you know? She's worried about the pay-per-view buys. I said, let me worry about the pay-per-view buys. Relax, lady.
She's the biggest star now, so maybe she feels a little of that pressure on her.
Yeah. And I like that.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that she feels like, you know, she has to work harder and do more, and you know, that's one of the many things that I love about Ronda. Ronda is, I'm telling you, the hardest worker I've ever seen, especially in this sport. The hardest worker I've ever seen, and she does everything the right way, man. She keeps us in the loop on everything she's doing. You hear what she just said at the press conference? She's like,
Juggling the unicycle.
yeah, well, no, she said, I did a 45-minute conference call about a movie. That's it for this camp. And that's all I've been doing is working on this fight. And then once she leaves, she'll dive into that and focus on that. She's it's not, but what's she juggling? She's going 2 fights back to back, and then she's obviously going to have some time off anyway. What do you do when you get time off? Some people gain a bunch of weight, and then they wait for the next fight, and then they have to go into camp again. She's going to stay busy. She's going to stay in great shape because she can't put on a bunch of weight for a movie. You know what I mean? So she's going to do her thing, and everybody keeps talking about, well, what happens if she leaves and goes to Hollywood? What happens if she leaves and goes to Hollywood? How's that bad for us? How's it bad for the sport? Is The Rock being a huge superstar bad for the WWE?
But isn't it bad for women's MMA because there's nobody else that has that kind of attraction?
But we always say that. We always say that when I've been answering these questions. What are you guys going to do when Chuck Liddell retires? You guys are in big trouble when that guy goes away. And the list goes on and on. This is a sport with a limited window of opportunity. We all know this. It's like now with these guys that are retiring and stuff, you know, these guys are retiring and it's like, you know, what am I going to do? What's the next chapter of my life? Where do I go? Did anybody sign with the UFC to think that this was going to be a lifetime job, that they'd be here till they retired when they were 72 years old? No, it's this big. You get in, you make a huge impact, you accomplish as many good things as you can accomplish, and then you move on to the next stage of your life. How many what? She'll fight 3 times this year. Yeah.
Dana, to follow up on the point you just made about Ronda, I mean, you were public about the fact that she as a personality changed your perception of women's MMA, but you also said at the time that you were worried about the depth of the gender in the sport.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on how that's evolved? Because obviously you're feeling pretty confident now about the depth of the women's division in the UFC.
Thanks to pioneers like her and Gina Carano and many other women ahead of them that didn't get to come and do the stuff that these girls are doing. It's come a long way fast, and there's nothing but depth, and it's only going to get bigger now because there's money involved here. You know, like we were saying at the beginning, other Olympians and other women that love to compete, and little girls right now are in MMA gyms all over the world training in MMA. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. At one point, I wasn't sure. It wasn't that I wasn't. I was worried about the level of competition, but usually. Everybody here and everybody who's ever watched, I mean, that Rousey Tate fight was awesome. That was an exciting fight that night. The place was going crazy, and I think this one will be too. I'm very interested to see how this goes. You think about Ronda's won every single fight by armbar, right? Well, when Ronda goes down to the ground, we'll end there. They're going to end up on the ground one way or the other. The question becomes, what happens if Ronda puts her on her back? Wrestlers don't do too well on the backs. We'll see how Sarah does. And Ronda's going to, for the first time, be fighting someone who, when Ronda's on her back trying to pull off arm bars, is going to be dropping elbows and punches. When we were sitting up here at the press conference, I was looking at her. You see the size of her arms? Oh my God, her arms are huge, man. Her forearms are huge. Her hands are big. You know, she's a big, strong girl. Rogan said that when he was interviewing her, he put his arm around her, said it's seriously like grabbing a piece of brick. Like, she is a powerful, you know, woman. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out.